One of the products from Micromix that you'll almost certainly be familiar with is Cast Clear. Cast Clear was developed by accident a number of years ago. We were trying to solve a nutritional problem for the training ground at Anfield at Liverpool Football Club, and unfortunately the material we sent for a trial was massively over applied, and the groundsman there reported back that there were no worm casts on the area that we treated. From there, we've done quite a lot of development work, because getting Cast Clear to prove, first of all, we didn't kill worms. We are not killing worms. We're creating a layer in the top of the soil which worms don't like. They go near it, they start to make mucus, they go away. So, first of all, unlike carbendazim, unlike other materials you might be tempted to try, it does not kill the worms. And the worms are our friend. They're not our friend when they make casts on our lovely greens and our bowling greens or our cricket squares. Then they're the enemy. But as long as we have worms in the soil, we have pathways, we have air in the soil, we have moisture travelling through the soil, we have a good result. What Cast Clear does is, when you first apply it, 20 litres a hectare, it puts a barrier in the top of the soil. And when you look at Cast Clear and prepare it for spraying, you have to shake it, because there is a material in there which helps to stick it in the upper layers of the soil, particularly on sand-based greens and sand-based growing medium. And we need that there, and it's not actually miscible with the Cast Clear material, so it has to be shaken well. The other thing you have to remember is you are applying a material that is also a nutrient to the plant. So there's no point in trying to use Cast Clear when the turf is actively growing or vigorously growing, because it will consume it and we will lose the worm deterrent effect. So it works best at the end of the growing season and before the start of the growing season, which is when worm casts are an issue anyway. The other interesting thing about it, unlike other worm deterrents or worm control materials, you use an initial 20 litres a hectare, and depending on the rainfall and how fast the grass is growing, you will get a level of persistence. Whether it's 3 weeks or 12 weeks, you will get a level of persistence before you start to see worm casts again. Then you have the opportunity to go in with a 1/3 rate, and you will get just as much persistence again. It's like a wall. You've built a wall, the wall starts to crumble down, you go in again, you can top the wall up, and that barrier, that deterrent effect continues for as long. And you don't get that with anything else. There is one other property that Cast Clear has that it's worth telling you about, that none of the other products have. When we were doing the original trials on Cast Clear, we could spot in the spring the areas that had been treated with Cast Clear the previous autumn, because they started growing earlier. We didn't understand why that was happening until we looked a bit more deeply into the science behind it and the biology behind it. And in fact, what Cast Clear does is, in the autumn, if you apply it when growth has slowed down or almost stopped, it encourages the plant to store energy as carbohydrate in the base of the stem. First, in spring, when growth starts, that carbohydrate is converted back into sugars, and it gives you that early bite, that early growth. So there is a secondary benefit to Cast Clear.